What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Al.S Gaming. Today we will be going through a comparison between Warrior of Light as well as Earthlord. So basically we have found out that Earthlord is getting a buff to some of his skills. Actually specifically just one. But yeah, so some people are saying that Earthlord is better than Warrior of Light, some people are saying Warrior of Light is better than Earthlord. So we're just going to do a quick comparison and you guys can decide for yourselves. Alright, so let's go through the stats. So Warrior of Light has a maximum HP of 3722, MP of 155, attack 130, 124 for defense, magic of 126, which doesn't matter, and spirit of 125. On the other hand, Earthlord has a maximum HP of 3586, same MP, defense, sorry, attack is slightly higher by 5, defense higher definitely by 20 actually, 144, and spirit slightly higher by 3 points. If you were to put the full pots on them, at max, Warrior of Light will have 200 more HP, so he will be at 4172 if you were to look into the stat pots. Overall, Warrior of Light has a higher HP at 4172, MP of 230, let's see, his defense will go all the way up to 154, and Spirit 155. So looking at the limit bursts, Warrior of Light basically does light damage, 3.9 times multiplier to all enemies, as well as increase your team's defense by 74% at maximum to all allies with 3 turns. On the other hand, Earthlord will do a 3.9 times multiplier as well, while ignoring 50% defense to all enemies, so it does more damage as compared to Warrior of Light, while decreased damage taken by 54% to all allies for 1 turn. So the trade-off here would be an increase in defense versus overall damage mitigation. I think over here Earthlord's limit burst is considerably better because a lot of trials have hybrid damage and the overall damage mitigation is more valuable in my opinion. I don't know the specifics behind the math and whatnot, but I think 54% in terms of damage reduction will translate better as compared to a 74% increase in defense alone. Let's look at the traits. Warrior of Light gets defense plus 30% and HP plus 20% as compared to Earthlord, which gets defense plus 30% and spirit plus 20%. Now once again, I think this sort of balances out, but in my opinion I value HP a bit more than stat increases, so in this sense to me, Warrior of Light wins. Other traits, basically Warrior of Light gets Undead Killer, which in my opinion doesn't really do much because he's not a damage dealer. Earthlord doesn't have any killers, but like I said, it doesn't really matter because both of them are not damage dealers. Now Warrior of Light comes with Sentinel, which gives him a chance to protect one ally for physical damage, 30% chance, and will reduce overall damage taken by 50%. On the other hand, Earthlord doesn't have anything like this, but he does have 100% resist to paralysis, which is kind of nice. The next trait that we're going to compare would be Hope versus Earthlord. Hope basically increases your defense by 100% when your HP drops below 30%. On the other hand, Earthlord will increase his defense and spirit by 100% when his HP drops below 30%, as well as absorb all earth damage taken. Now, without a doubt, down here Earthlord beats Hope in terms of a skill, because it gives him a chance to sort of heal himself, as well as boost up his overall stats, both defense and spirit, not just defense alone. But to make up for this, I think Warrior of Light has Warrior's Pride, which will recover his HP and MP by a certain amount when he's hit by magical damage. So you have a 25% chance of this happening. So they sort of both balance each other out, but in terms of self buffs, I would say Earthlord beats Hope. On the other hand, Warrior of Light has MP sustain, which is very important. Lastly, Earthlord comes with eye for an eye, so basically he has a chance to counter. If I'm not wrong, it's just going to times 2 to the regular 30%, which should give you a total of 60% chance to counter. Now this is pretty useful because it gives you a way to build limit burst crystals as well as deal additional damage. So let's look at the skills. Warrior of Light gets Light is with us as compared to Earthlord, which gets Guardian. Now Light is with us basically gives you a 50% chance to block to cover all allies from physical damage, basically, if I'm not wrong, and it reduces the damage taken to Warrior of Light by 50%, both physical as well as magical. On the other hand, Guardian is the skill that got a buff in Global, basically gives you a 60% chance to do the same thing as compared to the 30% in JP. So he has a 60% chance to cover all allies from physical damage, but the damage reduction is only 35% for physical as well as magic. Next, War of Light basically comes with his full kit of breaks, so he has full breaks, arms eraser as well as armor eraser. So this allows you to debuff your enemy. On the other hand, Earthlord doesn't have any debuffs, so if you need a debuffer, War of Light shines considerably more than Earthlord. Now, on the other hand, what Earthlord gets is Omniblock. So as compared to debuffing your enemy, what he does is he increases your whole team's resistance to debuffs. So basically it increases your whole team's resistance to breaks or status breaks for 3 turns for 100%. So basically you can't have your stats reduced for 3 turns. Now this is kind of interesting and pretty useful for certain trials, especially if you haven't beaten them. Now, War of Light gets Brave Presence, which increases the chance of being targeted by 100% for 1 turn. On the other hand, Earthlord will get Incinerating Press, so it's the same thing except it will last for 2 turns and you will do physical damage 2.7 times to all enemies. Now a lot of people are saying this is a superior Brave Presence, and in a sense it is, because it's lasting 1 extra turn, and this is very useful when you want to try and draw attacks away to yourself. But the only issue here for me is that the MP cost is considerably more. Now Brave Presence is only going to cost 14 MP, whereas Incinerating Press will cost more than 3 times more, all the way to 45 MP. So it's not something you can spam very frequently. Assuming you have to cast Brave Presence every turn, it's going to cost you only 38 MP as compared to 45 MP. So if you're going to use this, you will need some sort of MP battery as well as or MP regen, because Earthlord doesn't have anything to regen his MP in his kit, as compared to War of Light, which has innate MP and HP regen, or at least you have a 25% chance of that happening. So lastly, we have the buffs, which would be Emboldened for Warrior of Light. Now this will increase your whole team's attack and defense by 45% for 5 turns to all allies, as compared to Steel Body, which Earthlord has, and this will decrease damage taken by 20% for 3 turns to all allies, as well as increase defense and spirit by 50% to the caster, which is basically himself. Once again, it's a trade-off, you know, because Warrior of Light will increase your defense as well as increase attack. So if you have a physical damage dealer, this will increase his attack by 45%. On the other hand, the damage reduction by 20% basically will translate to magic damage or hybrid damage. So I'm not sure of the math behind it, but I think it sort of balances out, except Earthlord cannot buff your team's physical damage. So what are my thoughts, or what is my final verdict? So first, both are really good tanks in my opinion. So with the global buff, it could possibly put Earthlord somewhere around the top 4. It probably might overtake Cecil, unless you're talking about usability, because Cecil has a cure. But usually you have a healer in your team already, so this shouldn't be an issue. Now, Warrior of Light comes with debuffs as well as MP sustain, which is very useful in long fights, because you want to keep the bosses or the trial bosses damage low as well as do more damage. On the other hand, it also allows him to reduce the strain off your MP battery, allowing him to heal your other team members when needed. So Earthlord loses here because he's not able to sustain the high MP cost of his provoke. So if you're going to use Earthlord, you're going to need, like I said, an MP battery, someone like Ace or Tillith, or maybe Noctis or Titus, whatever. Also, War of Light has innate cover, and in my opinion this is very good, because some turns, let's say you made a mistake and you forgot to turn on the lights with this, or Guardian, right? You still have a chance of War of Light jumping in front of your team and covering at least one of the units, as compared to having 0% chance of him covering anything. In terms of self buffs, when your HP is low, Earthlord beats Hope easily, because it buffs both defense as well as spirit, as compared to just defense alone, and it allows him to absorb all earth damage. So if you're in a trial that does earth damage, you're gonna have a really good time. Alright, so let's look at Light is with us versus Guardian. Now, both are really good because both give you a chance to protect all allies. And the trade-off here is basically a 10% difference in terms of chance to jump in front of your team and take all physical damage. I'm not sure how the math works, but assuming self buffs just multiply the overall damage reduction because it's by 100%. Earthlord might have a total of 70-ish reduction, because 35 times 2, which should give you about 70% overall damage reduction. as compared to Warrior of Light, which should give you 100% physical reduction, but nothing for magic. So they sort of trade off here and there, and yeah, I think both are quite situational. If you are going against hybrid damage, maybe Guardian might be a better choice. In the end, in my opinion, Warrior of Light still wins just by a little bit. Both are really good units, and like I said, not everyone will have access to either Warrior of Light or Earth Lord. But if you have both, then you can play around with it and see what fits your playstyle. It's not a case where you have to choose Warrior of Light or Earth Lord. There are situations where you can just choose either or. I'm pretty sure both will fit very well. And seeing that we will be getting the 10-man trial eventually, it doesn't hurt to have two really good tanks. So personally, I do not have access to Wilhelm or White Knight Noel, so if I have Earth Lord, I think he will fit really nicely for that particular trial, because all I have right now is Warrior of Light as well as Cecil. So that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know who you prefer. Let me know if you're gonna pull for Earth Lord, or if you're not gonna pull for this banner. And yeah, give me a thumbs up. Remember to smack that like button as well as subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.